I was just thinking about the last video I did on my 7-day water fast, and I forgot to talk about refeeding. And I want to talk about it briefly because two things. One, I did it very poorly the first time. I plan on doing it very differently next time I fast. But also, with most of the resources I found while I was researching my own fast, like before I started doing it, there were a lot of protocols or suggestions for people to refeed after a fast. But they're all plant-based. There's not a ton of help for people who are carnivore like me in refeeding post-fast. So, I mean, it's probably just kind of common sense to intuit it and do it well. But I just wanted to talk about it because external processing. Originally what I did, I had a plan to very slowly refeed after the 7-day fast. And what I've heard, again, most of my knowledge is layman's knowledge from just reading articles and watching videos. But what I have heard is that however long you fast, you should take half that time to refeed slowly to get back to like your normal feeding pattern. And so I went 7 days. I should have taken about 3.5 days to like refeed myself. My plan was to stick to broth for probably like 24 hours, then start, just slowly refeeding or slowly introducing like hunks of meat. I probably would have done like a little bit of ground beef or like fried fat, like some little things. But because I have very little self-control, unfortunately, I had for like 3 days before I ended the fast, I had this like super intense craving for boiled eggs. Nobody knows why. But all I wanted was a single hard-boiled egg. So, on the day that I started refeeding, I did refeed with bone broth, which I do think was a great idea. It felt great. Nothing really threw me off. It felt good to me. I refed with bone broth. I think I did like 16 ounces, and then I waited a couple hours, and then I was out with friends for the day, and so I just had this craving for an egg, and I knew that I was starting to refeed. So I went to a gas station and I got one of those like little packs of like pre-made hard-boiled eggs, and I ate 2 hard-boiled eggs. Don't think it was a terrible idea, actually. I probably should have waited another day, but it didn't hurt me. It wasn't a bad idea. I did notice that as soon as I started eating those eggs, I got a really weird headache right here on my left side. I don't know if that's because of the egg or just because I was refeeding and my brain, like something happened with the ketones or something. I really have no idea. I don't know if it was specifically because I was eating an egg and I shouldn't have, because I typically just eat meat. Eggs don't super hurt me. I've been experimenting with that lately because I am carnivore, but I primarily eat meat, red meat. I primarily eat beef, actually. I don't usually do lamb or anything like that. I don't love the taste of it. I like it, but I don't love it. I really do love the taste of beef. So I typically just eat beef, and I've reintroduced a lot of goat dairy. I do a lot of goat butter, goat butter and goat cheese, and beef, and I have recently been experimenting with eggs because my body has just really been craving them, and I like to intuit what I should be eating, and so if I'm craving something that bad for that long, I usually will experiment with it. So I've been incorporating eggs, and they don't super hurt me, so I don't think it was a terrible idea to break the fast with a hard-boiled egg. Nutrient-wise, they're very nutrient-dense foods, so I do think it was okay, but I did get a headache. And but then that night I was at this music festival, and there was a food truck there that was my favorite Mexican food truck, and they have 2 types of beef that I really super love. And so I think I probably got about a pound of beef that night, and my plan was to eat a couple bites. I was going to eat a couple bites because by that time I had like 16 ounces of bone broth, and then I had my 2 boiled eggs, and then I had a little bit more bone broth. I don't know how much, but I had a little bit more that afternoon. And then that night I got this beef, and I was like, I'll eat a couple bites tonight and then I'll eat the rest of it tomorrow as I'm like refeeding with bone broth. But nah, your girl scarfed that whole thing down. So it didn't hurt me. I was very, very full. I'm pretty sure I shocked my body within breaking my fast, and then within probably 8 hours, I was eating a pound of beef. So, really, I don't remember anything really actually hurting me, but I do know, like with the research I've done, it's just not. It does poorly impact your body and your metabolism when you do something like that. So, like I said, there's not a ton of resources that I've found. I mean, there are a few, but there's not a ton of resources on proper carnivore refeeding. Everybody has like, oh, you do all like raw fruit and vegetable juices for a couple days, and then move to raw fruits and vegetables, and then start doing like boiled vegetables. Like, it's all very, very plant-based, which 5 years ago, sign me up. But since then, my experimentation with my digestion with fiber and blah, blah, blah is just not great. So that's not really an option for me. So yeah, I think as I've been plotting my next fast, I think what I'm going to do, I'm probably going to do a 7 to 10 day fast, and then I'm probably going to take 2 days to do just bone broth, and start slowly incorporating just like, like the delicious, you carnivores will know this, but everyone else will think this is weird. But the fat that I cut off of like big beef slabs, oh my gosh, cut it into little tiny pieces and air fry it, and it's just like, oh my gosh, it's literally the most delicious. It's candy. It's beef candy. It melts in your mouth and it's crunchy and it's so good. I can't handle it. So I'll probably start incorporating, just because it's fat, super easy to process, for my body at least, and then slowly incorporate that, and then start incorporating like actual beef and do that over the course of 5 days. And hopefully I have enough self-control to execute that well and treat my body better and be able to work my body back into digesting meals after being in survival mode for a few days. So I'm still doing a lot of research on that, but if anybody has like carnivore tips for refeeding after a fast, that would be awesome. But if not, I'll just keep experimenting and see what works out. I'll let you know what happens.